Rec League Podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your family, tell your haters. Available on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Good Pods, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Stitcher. At Rec League Podcast on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. At Rec League Pod on Twitter. Episode 125. Coming soon. Yo, whether you watching this from Facebook, Twitter, click the link in my Instagram, or YouTube itself. What up, world? I just watched Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. It is the sequel to 2018's Aquaman. It is the final movie in the DC Extended Universe. It stars Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson, Amber Heard, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Nicole Kidman, Tamora Morrison, Dolph Lundgren, Randall Park. And it is directed by James Wan. He directed the original Saw, some Conjuring stuff, some Insidious stuff, Furious 7. And you got Arthur Curry, Aquaman, King of Atlantis, doing this thing for a few years now. Black Manta comes for payback, stronger than before. And it's up to Aquaman to stop him with an assist. I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember what I said in my Shazam, Flash, or Blue Beetle reviews as far as James Gunn coming out with his video almost a year ago, which annihilated the box office and kind of any anticipation for any DCEU movie this year. I saw Shazam, enjoyed Shazam. I saw The Flash, enjoyed The Flash. I saw Blue Beetle, enjoyed Blue Beetle. The hype was not there for me and this movie. They put out 2 big trailers and they were played before every single movie leading up to this. I never got excited for this movie. I enjoyed the first movie. The first Aquaman is kind of a badass movie, sci-fi, underwater. I was hoping more of the same. All year, all you heard was Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom's a dumpster fire. It's not a dumpster fire. It's just not as good as the first movie. I don't feel like every amount of character development is kind of shown in the trailers. I'm ruling Atlantis. I scream when I cheer. Woohoo! Whatever. I'm Khal Drogo. I've just never been the biggest fan of Jason Momoa. He's kind of a one note, plays the same dude in every movie actor. So he's ruling the underwater. He's with Mera. He's got a kid. That's all the character development. He's still the same dude. And there's not really a lot of world building either. I feel plot wise, this movie hits a lot of the same beats as the first movie as far as locations and stuff. The first 2 acts were kind of a drag to me. None of the humor hit. I didn't think this movie was funny at all. The third act is really cool. The third act is kind of badass. There's just a lot of James Wan trying to make his own Land of the Lost. How many visually this movie looks cool. Because I feel that's what James Wan wanted to do, with the trench creatures. Remember when we were supposed to get a DCEU spinoff, The Trench? Thank God that never happened. But there was still just how weird can we go? And that's what some of this movie felt like. And it was kind of overkill, just based on the trailers. They're taking inspiration from the Thor and Loki story. The dollar store Thor is heavy in this movie. And then there are other elements that kind of feel like they're biting Black Panther. I don't know, the first Aquaman just felt original to me. This didn't really feel that original. It felt like they were rehashing what worked in the first Aquaman. Putting kind of from maybe from a different perspective. I think like from a performance standpoint, from acting, which like nobody's watching comic book movies like expecting like best actor nominations, but Patrick Wilson was really good. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II was really good. Every other actor that got primary focus, primary a lot of screen time, had like some cringy acting and bad dialogue. These aren't things that I like look for specifically, but when it stands out, it stands out. Like I didn't hate this movie. There was all these reports all year. The DC heads walked out of Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom. It's not that bad. I just like don't know, like everybody knows by now, like after Zack Snyder, this whole universe became a mess. They were trying too hard to catch up to Marvel. They wanted to interconnect. Then they claimed they didn't want to interconnect. They didn't want the shared universe. We're going to back away from the team-up movies because we rushed the team-up movies, or we locked our directors out of the editing room for the team-up movies, and the result just wasn't what we expected. Bruh, like the Hamadas and the Zaslavs, like read a comic book, man. Like know the source material before you greenlight some shit. Like I've always said, it feels like DC was throwing darts at a dartboard and whatever character got hit got a movie. And with all due respect, I feel like James Gunn is about to do the same shit. I'm thoroughly, overly excited for Superman Legacy. But I hate to break it to you, dog. Like, nobody gives a fuck about some creature commandos. Like, man, like, Marv, the MCU's star pupil, bro. Like, set up the Justice League individually. Bring them together. Do some obscure shit. That's what Guardians of the Galaxy was. After the Avengers was a banger, we got a team nobody heard of. Like, make sure Justice League is finally a hit. Then do Creature Commandos. Well, I'm getting off on a tangent, man, because, like, I fully expect if we ever see Jason Momoa in the DC movie world again, he's gonna be Lobo. He's gonna be Lobo. Everything about him oozes Lobo. It was never Aquaman. The next time we see Aquaman, I fully expect him to look like Ryan Gosling. I feel like I'm bashing this movie a little more than I probably wanted to. But it's just like, in a 2-hour and 5-minute movie, it took an hour and 45 minutes to get my interest. Like there are some interesting elements to this movie. I just feel like they didn't really emphasize them enough. So with all that being said, man, I will say that Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is solid. Have you seen Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, man? What you think? Positive, negative, somewhere in between? Let me know. I watched and reviewed Wonka last weekend. In the next day or two, I'm gonna have reviews for, let's say, before the end of the year. I'm gonna have reviews for The Iron Claw, Migration, Anyone But You, and Rebel Moon. Top 10 movies of the year video is coming. 10 most anticipated movies of the year video is coming. Top 3 fourth quarter movies is coming. And the Blu-ray collection update is coming. All before the 3rd of January. Hopefully. The next 2 Rec League podcast episodes will be not a group, but like one-on-one discussions with people about their 5 favorite movies of the year. And the following episode the next day, their 5 most anticipated movies of the year. That's how I get down. We turn a page on the calendar and we talk top 5s. So like, subscribe, comment, find me where you find me, man. Don't know where to find me. Watch these credits. Peace.